Not 3, good.
Do you think Terence Crawford is approaching you in the proper way?
I think he's wanted the fight and doing respectful, you know. I want Canelo.
2, 3, 4. Eso. Enjoy.
Canelo Álvarez has responded to the buzz surrounding Floyd Mayweather training with Terence Crawford after footage of their session surfaced online. Despite the headlines, Canelo stayed locked in at the gym, putting in serious work. When asked about the situation, he kept his answer short, confident, and cool: enjoy. With that one word, Canelo made it clear he's unfazed, focused, and fully dialed in on his own preparation.
Eso. Venga. 5, venga. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eso. Enjoy.
Shakur Stevenson recently shared his thoughts on meeting Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, and he didn't hold back on the respect he has for both. He spoke with admiration about Mayweather, revealing that Floyd values being around real, genuine people, a quality that's helped strengthen their connection. "We're so close now," Shakur said, emphasizing the growing bond between them. "It's clear there's a deep mutual respect, a relationship built not just on boxing greatness but authenticity outside the ring as well."
Seeing Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford all in the one place, and I know you put that together. You played the game, and you put yourself in a position there to sort of create a moment. And there was a few viral moments from that in the clips outside. What's that sort of environment like for you? I get the feeling every time I speak to you, you're so locked in. Do you not feel anything when you're around everybody in the gym and you've got to do them spars?
It kind of just feel, you know, back in the day, like if you asked me this question, I probably would tell you like, oh, it was so amazing. It was, but now I'm kind of so used to like,
regular.
Yes, it feels so normal. Like, honestly, that's why me and like Floyd is so like close now, because it's like I'm a genuine person, and he don't like he like genuine people.
Canelo Álvarez, widely regarded as the face of boxing, has responded to Terence Crawford's respectful call-out with equal class. Acknowledging Crawford's interest in a potential fight, Canelo noted the refreshing absence of trash talk, saying he respects how Crawford has approached the conversation. "You never know. Maybe one day I wake up and want to fight that guy," Canelo said, keeping things open while also affirming that he's earned his position in the sport. With calm confidence and humility, he showed appreciation for Crawford's accomplishments and the integrity both men bring to the ring. Canelo didn't confirm anything, but he didn't close the door either. A future showdown? It's not off the table.
With Teddy Atlas.
What's that mean?
He said you're the most overrated Mexican champion in history. He said that Salvador Sanchez.
Boxeador mexicano.
Más popular,
pero sin causa.
It's fucking crazy, that guy. and you think he knows boxing? Fuck.
When Terence Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point, because Canelo Álvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat Kobe. Then he moved up again and he lost to Bivol. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moves up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was against an 11-0 Madrimov who didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Fame. Okay, this guy, you know, all-time light heavyweight. It's a bit different. Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up. Okay, and Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has echoed the growing concerns around the size gap between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford. He noted that even if the fight happens and Canelo wins, it's unlikely he'll receive much credit due to Crawford's smaller natural frame. Canelo will not get any credit for beating a lightweight, Hearn stated bluntly, reinforcing the idea that, fair or not, Crawford may be viewed as simply too small for this matchup to be seen as a true challenge.
Understand, he's a different fighter now. The deterioration is there. He's not the same guy. He's not that He's not that destroyer who's looking for knockouts early and keeps a pace and a pressure on you. He throws 30 punches around. You're not the same guy. So telling everyone you're going to knock them out and then going into, 6 decisions in a row now? Scores a knockdown every time, power's still there. The problem is the pace and the ability to carry on and push. That's the real difference, and that comes with age. He's 34 going on 45 at this, as far as I'm concerned. He's got a ton of fights, been around for a long time, doesn't have that same desire, the same drive to take the chances against these younger, bigger guys, because he is fighting younger, bigger guys. So you got to keep that in mind as well.
When he fought Canelo, and he was like standing right in front of Canelo, and Canelo was just whiffing, it was a life lesson. And then you look at how good Canelo's head movement got after that fight, when he realized it. I mean, my God, when he fought Danny Jacobs, and Canelo's just standing right in front of him, bobbing. That's all what he learned from.
In the past, Canelo Álvarez was clear about one thing. He wasn't going to drop weight to fight Terence Crawford. He pointed out that Crawford was the one chasing the fight, not him, and if he accepted, critics would likely claim he was picking on a smaller opponent. Canelo also mentioned that Crawford's style, while skilled, doesn't excite him the same way other matchups might. The message was simple. If the fight happens, it'll be on Canelo's terms.
Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light middleweight. And Crawford's going to move a lot in that fight, which is not ideal for Canelo. But what's his options? I mean, if Bivol wins, he could fight him for undisputed. That's a very tough fight. What's the other options? Benavidez is up at 175. Obviously, his excellency wants to make that fight, so guess we could see it.
Canelo Álvarez has consistently emphasized the importance of weight classes in boxing, believing that every fighter is most effective at their natural weight. In a recent interview, he reminded fans, there are weight classes for a reason, suggesting that Terence Crawford is best suited for 147 pounds, not the 168 pounds division where Canelo reigns. This highlights Canelo's stance that moving up in weight, especially for a fight of this magnitude, can significantly affect a fighter's performance. He also brushed off Crawford's call-out, saying it's not a big deal, after all, everyone wants to fight me. Meanwhile, boxing legend Floyd Mayweather also weighed in on the conversation, reflecting on his own bout with Canelo. He reminded fans that when they fought, Canelo was in his prime, while Floyd was already past his physical peak, yet still dominated the younger star.
This nice, cause of Bud, me truthfully, I done got better through the years, not even just being in the ring with him, but even being outside the ring, watching his demeanor, watching what he doing in his sparring, watching his training camp, how hard he trained, dog, I owe Bud a lot, so I'll never even talk about too much sparring.
Yeah, I got you. Shakira, everybody just keeps saying, bro, he lighting the ass, the weight. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
what do you say about that?
I think skills pay the bills. Yeah. And I feel truthfully, he's not as little as people think. People think he very small.
He cut weight to get the 147, 154.
Yes. Yeah. He's not as small as people think. It's just he look like it. Yeah. So if you see him
in person
and he get on a scale or something, you wouldn't believe that's his weight.
I told somebody the other day, he might get on the scale weighing 166, 167 fighting Canelo. And people wouldn't believe how ripped up and cut up he'll still look. He won't look like he's overweight Terence Crawford. He gonna look like a solid Terence Crawford.
I think he beat Canelo though. I've been saying, I remember when he fought when they fought. Go watch an interview after the fight. I literally said, I think Terence Crawford will beat Canelo.
Okay.
Shakur Stevenson has voiced strong confidence in Terence Crawford's ability to take on Canelo Álvarez, despite the size difference. After spending time with both Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, Stevenson believes many are underestimating Crawford, focusing too much on weight and not enough on skill. I think he can beat Canelo, because weight doesn't matter. Skills pay off, Stevenson said, firmly backing Crawford as a legitimate threat. In his eyes, it's not about who's bigger. It's about who's better.
Canelo said that because when Canelo fought me, he was in his prime. And when I fought, I was an old man. So I wasn't in my prime when I fought Canelo. I was an old man when I fought Canelo. Just like this right here, young guy, even though I'm old, I got a lot of experience. I'm gonna go out there and just show him that this is the elite level in this stuff.
Floyd Mayweather didn't mince words when speaking about Canelo Álvarez, boldly saying, I was 40 years old when I cooked this dude. A sharp reminder of his dominant win over Canelo and a subtle jab at the notion that Álvarez is unbeatable. Coming from an undefeated legend with unmatched experience, Mayweather's words add a compelling angle to the ongoing debate. Meanwhile, Canelo has downplayed Terence Crawford's call-out, reiterating that everyone wants a shot at me, and making it clear he's only interested in fights that make sense for his career and legacy. While Canelo admitted he'd consider the bout, if the money's right, he also expressed reluctance, citing Crawford's movement-heavy style as a turnoff. He moves a lot, and the fight is boring. This underscores Canelo's belief that Crawford's style doesn't align with the kind of action-packed matchups he prefers.
I think Crawford don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money. So if the money is right, I'm in. Because, you know, I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford the last fight and he don't move that much now. So if the money is right, I mean, why not?
How you think he did at that weight, at 154? How you think Crawford did?
You know, they are a weight class for a reason, and you need to ask him. It's different. I know in his mind he think he can do whatever he wants because he's very talented fighter. He's a very good fighter. I like how he fight, but that's why there are weight classes.
Canelo Álvarez has openly questioned Terence Crawford's resume, suggesting that Crawford has only beaten one truly notable opponent. He implied that Crawford's record lacks the depth and high-level competition expected at the elite tier of boxing. This critique reveals Canelo's skepticism about whether Crawford is truly ready for a showdown at this level, especially against someone with Canelo's experience and track record in multiple weight classes.
You tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is. But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy. But I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you know, you never know in boxing.
In response to Canelo's comments, Terence Crawford's trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, stepped in to defend his fighter's resume. He argued that Crawford's dominance is exactly what makes his opponents appear less impressive, not because they're lacking, but because Crawford is just that good. Crawford makes everybody look normal, McIntyre stated, underscoring the belief that it's Crawford's elite skill set that levels the playing field, or tilts it entirely in his favor. This passionate defense highlights the unwavering confidence in Crawford's superior talent, adaptability, and ability to make even top-tier opponents look average.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I've not been against Terence Crawford against nobody right now.
Mikey Garcia recently shared his thoughts on a potential showdown between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford, emphasizing the challenges posed by the weight and size difference. Garcia pointed out that while Canelo fights at 168 pounds, Crawford has only recently moved up to 154 pounds, where he's faced some struggles. Garcia stated that Canelo is unlikely to come down below 166 pounds, noting the significant size gap between the two fighters. While he acknowledged Crawford's superior skill set, Garcia predicted that Canelo's size and power would likely give him the edge in this matchup. He highlighted the contrast between Crawford's technical abilities and Canelo's physical advantages, suggesting that Canelo's strength would likely dominate the fight.
Weeks ago, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Álvarez.
I just want the opportunity, you know, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. You know, he's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just, you know, just like to, you know, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'll be the biggest fight, which, you know, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him testing himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons the war.
Showbiz, the renowned boxing analyst, broke down the potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Álvarez, praising Crawford as an all-time great. He argued that the size difference between the two wouldn't be a major factor in the fight, emphasizing that Crawford's exceptional skills would allow him to dominate in the ring regardless of weight class. Crawford's abilities are so extraordinary that size won't be the decisive factor in this matchup, Showbiz confidently stated, highlighting Crawford's elite ring IQ, adaptability, and precision as the key elements that will tip the scales in his favor.
Night, how do you see that line out?
I'm not a big fan of that fight matchmaking because they're too many weight classes apart, and although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. I told him yesterday when I met him up last night there at the dinner, I'm like, dude, you're a badass. Like, you've been a badass. You don't always get the recognition because of the, the politics in boxing and the favoritism here and there. But he truly does have the skills, and he's a great fighter. He's proven it multiple times, obviously. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Yeah. Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, maybe 166 max if he accepts.
Yeah.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding.
The much-anticipated showdown between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford seems to be scheduled for September, according to ESPN's Mike Coppinger. Speculation surrounds the reason for a major card set for Friday, May 2nd, potentially avoiding competition with Canelo's preferred Cinco de Mayo weekend. Mexico this timing has generated excitement for both fighters. If the schedule holds, fans could witness 2 Canelo fights this year, with Crawford potentially headlining the latter. This strategic timing also brings a sense of nostalgia, reminiscent of classic Friday night fights, adding an exciting twist to the modern boxing scene. A Canelo versus Crawford matchup would undoubtedly electrify boxing fans worldwide.
It's interesting because of the weight class. We haven't seen Terence go up there, and will he have the power? But I do think that Terence has the skill and is a bit fresher than Canelo. So if I had to put my money on it, I would probably go with Terence.
I think Canelo destroys him.
Really?
I do.
Wow. I mean, but most people think that, but they don't know.
I don't think
Canelo's
that happens. I think Terence is just super talented at adjusting inside that ring. The weight will play a part. We'll see that when the fight happens, but I think that fight is going to be a lot more interesting than most people think.
Who was the hardest part?
Social media influencer and boxer Jake Paul has also weighed in on the potential fight between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford, finding the matchup intriguing due to the weight class difference. Paul pointed out that fans have never seen Crawford compete at such a high weight before, making the fight a curious challenge. His comments reflect the wider public's curiosity about how Crawford would perform at a higher weight class against a formidable opponent like Canelo.
But do you feel like a fight like Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better, no? Terence Crawford is a great fighter, he's a good fighter, but like I say, he's a weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and then
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'll be the biggest fight, which, you know, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him testing himself up against the very best.
In a recent interview, Brian "Bo-Mac" McIntyre expressed strong confidence in a potential Canelo versus Crawford fight, brushing aside concerns about the weight difference. He stressed that true fighters focus on skills, not excuses, stating, "If you accept the fight, get in there and fight." McIntyre emphasized that boxing is all about skill, not weight restrictions or unnecessary complaints.
If you go 154 and win the belt, that's 3 times super. Then I said, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo, 160.
Well, if he can get in there with Charlo in like his next 2 fights where he still got age on his side, then maybe go up again. Like if he's trying to chase the greatness. But I mean, he already done something that's never been done. Charlo don't want none of that smoke.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but you know, like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and you never know what happens.
Yeah.
The potential fight between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford has become one of the most highly anticipated events in boxing. Fans are eager to see how the contrasting styles and weight classes of the two fighters will play out. Some enthusiasts are so confident in their predictions that they're placing substantial bets on the outcome. For example, boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult has reportedly wagered $30,000 on the fight, highlighting the high stakes and widespread interest surrounding this potential showdown.
Projected odds that came out. One of the odds projectors say Canelo is opening up as the favorite, minus 130. Crawford is plus 100. That's damn near 50-50. Another one says Canelo Álvarez is the favorite, minus 185. Crawford is the underdog, only plus 55. Let me tell you something. If those are the odds on my booking come day one, I'm max betting Canelo Álvarez. I could give a damn. If y'all mean to tell me that y'all think it's 50-50, I'ma empty my account on Canelo Álvarez. I don't have to bet KO, none of that shit. If y'all think it's that close, I'ma empty my account. $30,000, I can give a shit. I'm about to come up. I was gonna bet on Crawford thinking he'd be the huge underdog. Y'all got...
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates as we continue to cover all the latest in boxing. Until next time, keep supporting the sport, and I'll catch you in the next one.